This is Steve Ridgel, and I spend a lot of time talking to college kids. Now, I've got two grandkids who started their higher education just this year, one at Abilene Christian University, one at TSTC and Industrial Systems. And so I've spent years hanging around college kids, talking to college kids, and now here it is. It's going to be early in September when you're watching this, and most of the colleges are now in full swing. About the middle of August, I live in Abilene, Texas, and there's three religious colleges. There's a junior college and there's a technical college, and boy, there's just lots of that kind of thing in Abilene. So we watch it every year. We in Abilene, our year cycle runs really mid-August to mid-August because that's kind of when the life in Abilene is. But now, most of the kids have gotten here. They've gotten into their routine. They've started school. They've kind of settled in. And I just thought I'd share with you a couple of things I tell college kids. One is I talk to college kids a lot about the fact that they're going to really grow academically because that's true. I talk to them about the fact they're going to grow so much socially because that's true. They're going to make lifelong friends. I've still got friends I made in college that are close friends, that are good friends. They're going to set themselves on, for a lot of them, a career. Now, let's be honest, some of them aren't. Some of them are going to go all the way through, get their degree, find out in 2 years they hate the field they went into and change. Okay, that happens, but for a lot of them, they're going to set some foundation. But here's the thing that really happens, and what I talk to college kids about more than anything, this is the time when they really figure out who they want to be spiritually. Now, I'm not saying you can't come to the Lord way after college or figure out what the Lord wants you to do. I mean, I'm heavily involved in reaching adults for Jesus and helping people come home to Jesus. Lots of them up in their 60s and 70s. So obviously, you can come to Jesus anytime. But for college kids, a lot of kids that I talk to come out of families of faith, and they've grown up in youth groups or grown up around church, and they're good kids and they make commitments to Jesus. And but here's what I tell them about college. College is that time when you figure out your own spiritual footing. Like, you may have been part of a great kingdom family that's fighting kingdom battles in this world, part of a family that's a kingdom outpost, and that's fantastic. But now you're going to be a soldier on your own, not tied necessarily to your family's Jesus commitment. But what are you going to do with your Jesus life? And lots of college kids will form little communities of faith, people they go to church with, people they do ministry with. It may be people that share the same major. It may be people in their sorority or fraternity. It may be people on their athletic team, whatever it is. But they find that group of people in the dorm or wherever that becomes their community of faith. And they start deciding, they mom and dad aren't getting them up for church. They decide if they're going to get up and go to church. They decide where to go to church. And I'm always amazed by the parents that come in and they say, "Hey, I've told my kids the churches they ought to check out." And they mention churches that were really important to them when they were in college, if they're going to the same city for college. And I'm like, that church isn't like that. No, that's really not how that church is. No, this church is way different. And they say, "Boy, this church was and is." And okay, well, things change. And here's the thing about college kids, they'll find their church community. It may be the one their parents were at. It may be one that has a reputation for catering to the college kids. It may be one where they're one of four college kids. It may be a church of 12. It may be a church of, well, in Abilene, we've got some pushing 3,000 probably if you take all their services together, and everywhere in between. And they'll find their spot, and that'll be fantastic. That your 4, 5, 6 years of college are some of the most intense spiritual growth years ever. And I think that's fantastic. So this is Steve Ridgel. If you have a college kid around Abilene and I can help, holler.